Hi there, Cancer. Thank you for joining me for your monthly forecast for June. Now this month does start with Mercury in a retrograde. It also has a full moon on the 2nd, which is emphasising the more psychological part of life. There may be some practical issue, but the thing that influences it the most could be linked somehow to your past. Now this could be around your health, for example. So if you have been putting off going to see a physician, a doctor, or having some natural treatments, this would be a fine time to embrace this side of life, but also to become much more aware of your deeper motivations. And with Mercury twisting backwards, you may find that your thinking is really quite reflective, that your thoughts, even subconscious ones that come up into the here and now, can be a lot to do with people you used to know or past events. Some of these can be very comforting, some can be more challenging. The Sun is also going to be side by side with Mars for much of this month, but this can be a wonderful thing if it helps you to unearth things within your past experiences or knowledge that are not being used in the here and now that still can be very valuable to you. Now with Venus moving on the 6th into a fantastic location, well, it's going to give you an opportunity to gain more financial assistance. And Jupiter, the planet, which is very much to do with good fortune, is also combining brilliantly with the Sun and Mars for much of the first 3 weeks of this month. But it's about you tapping into what you haven't been using or embracing quite so recently. So something you used to do in your past around a job or an experience you had can actually still come into play in the here and now and be very enriching, even quite profitable too. If you have some paperwork, especially linked to a financial policy, I think it would be a good idea to really check through it or get some professional help. However, when it does come to any kind of contractual matter, I do feel you need to proceed with some caution this month. Because Mercury twisting backwards in the 12th solar house suggests that somebody may not be telling you the whole story. And also with the Sun on the back of that full moon squaring with Neptune in the first couple of weeks, and then Mercury, once it goes forwards from the 11th, squaring with Neptune from the 18th through to the 26th, something you're told may be factually inaccurate. And you really need to keep your wits about you if you are trying to engineer some kind of big kind of contractual matter. Because your opponents, however charming they may seem, may have an ulterior motive or agenda which is not in your best interest. But Venus in the first week of this month certainly is giving your sex appeal a real boost. And if there is someone you're attracted to, you may find yourself having some kind of meeting which is quite secretive. It may be just you and they know about this, or you could find yourself yearning for an old flame. Perhaps not quite ready to get in touch, you may check out social media to see where they're up to, or if you are fortunate enough to hear from them, it could really make your pulse race. Now once Neptune goes into a retrograde itself on the 12th, anything to do with information or travel does need to be approached with a certain extra clarity. Things are wonderful if you are someone who's interested, for example, in the arts or culture, because you're really going to have a real appreciation of those areas of life. But Neptune twisting backwards can be quite confusing, and it's going to be going on for the next 5.5 months. And speaking of retrogrades, of course, we also had Mercury retrograde until the 11th. But then, on the 15th, Saturn, which has been retrograde the whole of the month, in the part of your horoscope to do with health and fitness, rewinds into the sign of Scorpio, which of course is a fellow water sign. Now if this rings a bell, it's because Saturn was here for 2.25 years until just before Christmas last year. Now it's going to be going on for another quarter of a year in Scorpio, and this for you is all about your love life. Now it's possible you may have to come to terms with the reality of a situation. Now whether this pans out exactly as you want or not, at least you will finally know where you stand by the time of mid-August, and that can help to create a lot more clarity. But once the Sun burgeons its way into your sign on the 22nd, joined by Mars on the 25th, it can be a time of bright new beginnings for you. And you can feel super confident as you charge towards the end of June. It's a time to refresh, to revive, to begin again, or to revitalize. And you really will have tremendous motivation. But the earlier parts of this month do require you to tune very much into your memory, your past, your subconscious, to get much more aware of the more spiritual side of life too. And it can prove to be highly healing, but also extraordinarily revealing. Thank you for joining me. Good luck and goodbye for now.